अक्सर लोगों में यह गलत धारणा है कि इस्लाम में महिलाओं का कोई अधिकार नहीं है। चर्चा के जरिए हम यह देखेंगे कि इस्लाम ने महिलाओं का कितना अधिकार और सम्मान दिया है।
So let's welcome sisters Sidra Akhtar, Tasmina Yasmin, Rukhsar Khatun and Mubassira Parveen.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We are here to discuss a very important topic, rights of women in Islam. People often argue that Islam restricts women's rights. Therefore, we gather here to discuss the topic, and Sister Rukhsar, Tasmina and Mubashira will join me in this very important discussion. So Sister Rukhsar, I would like to know your perspective.
Yes, it's an important conversation that often needs clarification within our community.
Absolutely. I think there are many misconceptions and it's important to discuss and understand how Islam truly values and respects. Let's start with the misconception that Islam oppresses women's rights. How do you all say this?
I think the main issue is the confusion between cultural practice and actual Islamic teaching. Islam upholds the dignity, respect and rights of women. It's important to differentiate what our faith prescribes and what may influence by cultural norms.
I completely agree. Sometimes cultural practices are wrongly assumed to be religious requirements that leads to misconceptions about the status of women in Islam.
Well said. In the Quran, there is a verse that emphasizes the equality of men and women. Allah says in the Quran, chapter 3, verse 195, فَاسْتَجَابَ لَهُمْ رَبُّهُمْ أَنِّي لَا أُضِيءُ عَمَلَ مِنْ آمِلٍ مِنْكُمْ مِنْ ذَكَرٍ وَأُنْثَى بَعْضُكُمْ مِنْ بَعْضٍ. And their Lord respond to them, I will not support the work of any of you, whether male or female, to go to waste. You are from one another. By this, what your understanding about women's rights?
It's a powerful reminder that man and woman have equal worth and will be equally rewarded for their effort. Yes, these words beautifully highlight our shared responsibility as men and women.
Some critics argue that Quranic verse or hadith are misinterpreted or justify unequality treatment. How do you respond to them?
Misinterpretation often comes when verses are taken out of context. We need to understand the verses in their historical context.
And let's not forget the role of cultural bias that may influence misinterpretation. By seeking knowledge and engaging a continuous learning, we can challenge this interpretation and advocate for a more accurate understanding of women's rights in Islam.
That brings us to education, which is emphasized in Islam for both men and women. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, seeking knowledge is obligatory upon every Muslim, male and female. How do you see the role of education in women empowerment?
Education is a powerful tool for empowerment. Education makes women capable of taking informed decisions and contribute to the society. I completely agree. Education provides women with the confidence to challenge stereotypes and misconceptions. It opens the door to various opportunities and enables us to fulfill our role in society more effectively.
Some critics argue that concept of modesty in Islam limits women's freedom. How do you respond to them?
Modesty is a virtue that promotes dignity and self-respect. Islam encourages both men and women include modesty in their behavior, clothing and interactions.
Exactly. Modesty does not limit our freedom. Instead, ensure that our freedom is exercised within the bounds of and self-respect. It's balanced approach that contribute to the harmonious society.
That's a balanced perspective. Let's talk about the role of women in society. Some critics argue that women's role are limited to household. How do you respond to them?
Islam does not limit women to the household. The Prophet's wife, Aisha radiallahu ta'ala an, was a scholar and a teacher that proved that women can play a significant role in our intellectual and educational field. Sure, I believe that both men and women have different skills and can do different things. While women encouraged to take care of families, they can also contribute to the society in many ways.
Well, this is a meaningful discussion. It's clear that Islam advocates the right and dignity of women.
Definitely, Sidra. When we know and accept our rights in Islam, we help people understand better and make society our healthier. Our opinions are important and it's crucial for us to teach about women's rights in our community.
I am happy we had this discussion. It's essential for us as Muslim women to empower ourselves with knowledge and contribute to a positive narrative about women's rights in Islam.
Thank you very much to join me. I would like to sum up the discussion with this dua that may Allah give us to understand and follow these things. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.